In this lesson, we'll be looking at different measures of central tendency, which is a way to describe a set of data. Okay? So there are three measures of central tendency. I know you've heard of these words before. They are mean, median, and mode. Okay? I know none of these words are new to you, so I'll just kind of refresh your memory here. But mean is also called average. In order to find the average, you add up all the values and then divide by the number of values there are. So if there's 10 numbers, then you'll divide by 10. If there's 5 numbers, you'll divide by 5. Okay? So mean is another word for average. Add them all up, divide by however many there are. Median is the middle number. Important to remember that you must put the numbers in order from smallest to largest first. That's a step some people forget. And then it is the middle number. If there are two middle numbers, then you find the average of those two numbers. And the mode is the number that appears the most often. There can be more than one mode or no mode at all. If every number is listed only once, or if every number is listed twice. In other words, if every number is listed the same amount of times, then there is no mode. But there might be two numbers that are both listed 3 times where every other number is listed once. Then those two numbers that are both listed 3 times would both be the mode. Okay? So, mode is kind of a different breed. All right, it's really important to know when to use each one of these measures of central tendency, so we're going to kind of talk about this. If there are really high or really low numbers on your list compared to the other numbers, and those are called outliers, which we will learn about a little bit more later, they really affect the mean. And so if you've got a number in there that stands out as really high or really low, then the mean is not the number you should use. Okay? Then you should use the median or the mode to describe the data. Okay, so if it's got outliers in there or really high or low numbers, don't use the mean. Use the median or the mode. Okay. A value with a really high frequency, that means it's a number that occurs often, can cause the mode to be misleading. It doesn't always, but let me show you a case where that can happen. Okay, if this is your list of data, and you've got this going on, 2, 2, 2. 74, 63, 68, 71, 83, something like that. Okay? If you look at this list of data, this would be the mode. So if I said to you, describe the piece of data, and you said, well, the most common number there is a 2. I would think that you would say that doesn't really describe that data set very well because all the other numbers are much, much higher than 2. And if we were to find the average or something like that, it would really, the average is not even close to 2 if we were to find the average. So you would want to think about that. Okay? So you should really pay attention to whether your mode is close to your other numbers or not. If it is close to your other numbers, then it's fine to use. But if your mode is not close to your other numbers, don't use the mode. Okay? Then you would want to use the mean or the median. And then data that is clustered with a few values separate from the other numbers can cause the median to be too low or too high. And I think we'll see a situation like that in a minute. Okay, so here we go. We are going back to number 4 from your previous example. Here's the stem and leaf plot that we looked at before. And remember, this had to do with the test scores in 2 different blocks of a class. And so the question is, which class scored higher overall on the test? And the problem is, it's hard to know necessarily how do you answer that? Do I go by the mean? Do I go by the median? Or do I go by the mode? So we're going to kind of just answer or analyze this, okay? So what I am going to do is I'm going to create kind of just a little chart so that we've got this. We have the mean, the median, and the mode. Okay, those are our 3 measures of central tendency. We know that, of course. And then we're going to look at what's happening in block 1. And what's happening in block 2. So we'll kind of talk about this as we go. Okay? So in order to find the mean for block 1, I will take every single number on block 1's list, so 67, 68, 68, 72, 74, 76, all of those numbers. I will add them up, and I will divide by however many there are. And there are 25 numbers, so I will divide by 25. Okay, so when I do that, and you guys can do your math, hit pause and then check it, you should get 82.6 for block 1's average. Okay, and when I look at block 1, I do not see any numbers standing out as crazy extremely high or extremely low. Okay, so if I don't see any numbers that are way high or way low compared to the other numbers, then the average is an okay description to use. Okay. For block 2, if I add all those numbers up, so I would add 62, 75, 75, 76, all of those up, and again divide by 25. When I add, or when I average block 2's data here, or find the mean of it, I would get 84.52. Okay, then to find the median, you're going to go and you're going to have the numbers listed in order from smallest to largest, which you already do in the stem plot. And then you are going to find the middle number. So again, what you're going to do to find the middle number, I'm going to cross out the smallest number and the biggest number. The next smallest, the next biggest, next smallest, next biggest. And I'm going to keep repeating this process until I figure out where the middle number is. But be careful because you want to make sure you're grabbing it from each end. So I'm crossing off smallest, biggest, smallest, biggest, smallest, biggest. Here would be my median, which would be 85 for block 2. Okay. Then for block 1, again, I'm going to cross off the smallest and the biggest. So be careful. Smallest, biggest, smallest, biggest. Keep going. Ooh, I did that wrong, didn't I? Okay. Sorry, I have to undo that a little bit. Let's see, I crossed out the smallest and the biggest. I'm going to go back a little ways here. How did I do here? Biggest. I'm going to keep going now from here. Okay. Smallest, biggest, smallest, biggest, smallest, biggest, smallest. This is bigger. That's where I messed up. Smallest, biggest, smallest, biggest, smallest, biggest, smallest, biggest. And then I have something I didn't do right. I don't know. You guys, I don't want to go back and redo this. But when you find the median for this class, block 1, it should be 83. And somewhere I messed up along the lines. But there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 numbers that are below it, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 numbers that are above it. So this is the median right there, and then you have, there's 25 numbers, 12 numbers below, 12 numbers above it, and then the actual median. So this would be 83 right here. Okay, the mode is the most popular number that's listed, so you're looking for repeated numbers. In block 1, there are 3 79s, and it's the only number that's listed 3 times, so the mode would be 79. In block 2, there are some repeated numbers. There's a whole bunch of numbers that are listed twice, and all of those numbers would be the mode. So because there's not ties here, so the mode would be 75, 76, 78, 80, 83, 85, 86, 88, 92, and 95. They're all the mode. Okay? So here we go. If I wanted to answer the question, which class scored higher overall? I certainly could compare their means because there is no crazy high or crazy low numbers on either set of the data. So the mean is a pretty good representation of both block 1 and block 2. So I could compare their means. According to their means, block 2 would be higher. According to their medians, I don't have any clusters of data that are either real low or real high or far away from the other set of data, so I could also compare their medians. I would not use their modes here because the mode for block 2 is not helpful at all. Which number of that is the mode? It doesn't matter, so I'm not going to use the mode to compare. But if I look at either the mean or the median, block 2 has the higher overall test score. So block 2. All right, here we go. In this one, we want to find the mean, the median, and the mode for the stem and the leaf plot that is listed here. So I have already created the stem and the leaf plot for you. And we are just going to find the mean, the median, and the mode. Again, to find the mean, I will add these all up. So I will add 41, 41, 42, 44, 44. And notice this one does not have a key to it, which is a big no-no. It should have a key. So I am only assuming that this is really 41, 41 instead of 4.1. It could be the 4.1 could stand for 4.1, but it doesn't give me a key, so I am going to assume that it is 41, and then 41, and then 42, 44, 44, 44, 45, 48. Add all those up and divide by however many numbers there are. And there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 numbers, so I would divide by 15. When you do that, you should get 55.06. And go ahead and hit pause and do that, and then check yours if you would like. Okay? Your median. I screwed this up on the last one, so I'm going to get it right this time. So I'm going to cross off the smallest and the largest. The smallest and the largest. The smallest and the largest. Now, this is a long process if you're going to do this, crossing off business. So I will kind of teach you another way here, but smallest, largest. There we go. And here is my median. I only have one number left. Here's the other thing you can do. There are 15 numbers on the list. Okay? So what you need to think about is if there are 15 numbers, I need to look for the middle spots. So if there's 15 numbers, I'll have 7 numbers that are below it, 7 numbers that are above it, and this one number in the middle. Okay? That one number in the middle right there is actually the 8th number because this right here is the median. Since there are 15 numbers, I need to have 7 on each side and then that one in the middle. So the 8th number, because there's 7 numbers down here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then this spot is the median, and then there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 above it. So this spot right there is where the median is, which is actually the 8th number. Okay? And the 8th number on the list when you're going from smallest to largest would be 48. The mode is the most popular number that's up there. You can see that you have 3 4s right here, which is the most popular number, and so the mode would be 44. What measure of central tendency best represents the data and why? You can see in this case that the mean is very different than the median. You've got these high numbers up here. These numbers in the 70s and 80s are much higher than these popular numbers here that are in the 40s, which is skewing your data and making your mean much higher. So I would use, in this case, either the median or the mode, but not the mean. Okay, and again, you do not want to use the mean because it's got some pretty high data points compared to the others. Also, if you look back here, you can see that your median and your mode are pretty close to each other, where your mean is much higher. Okay, so that's a red flag as well. All right, here we go. I've got a set of numbers that you were supposed to put in a line plot. I've already got that done because that was on a previous video, so you can hit pause and do it and just copy mine. And then you also need to make a stem and leaf plot for this. And again, you need to find the mean, the median, and the mode. Okay, so to find the mean, you are, again, going to take all the numbers, add them up, and average them. And when you do that, there are, let's see, how many numbers are there on the list? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 numbers on the list. So you will add them all up, divide by 19. When you do that, you should get 54.16. Okay, the median, you will list them from smallest to largest and then find the middle number. In this case, there are 19 numbers. So if you think about this, it might be easier to use the line plot to do this. 19 numbers means I'm going to basically have 9 numbers, and then that middle number, and then 9 more numbers to the right of it. Okay, so 9 numbers below it, 9 numbers above it, that's 18 numbers. The middle number would be the 19th number. Okay, so this middle number is actually in the 10th spot right here because there's 9 numbers below it, so I'm looking for the number that's in the 10th spot. So I could count from the line plot and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. The 10th spot would be 54. Or I could go over here and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. The 10th spot would be 54. Okay? So either way, my median is going to be 54. Okay? The mode is the most popular answer. Really easy to see from the line plot because the highest bar right here is 51. Also easy to see from the stem and leaf plot because you can see that the 1 is the only number that's listed 3 times. So 51 is where that is. Okay? So in this case, which measure of central tendency best represents the data? Really and truly, you could use any 3 of them here. They're all pretty close together. You can see that the mean and the median are very close together, which tells you there are no either extremely high or extremely low numbers. If there are extremely high or extremely low numbers, then that number, those 2 numbers, the mean and the median, get farther apart. There aren't in this case. So the mode is probably the least popular one to use here, or the one that is the least reliable. So I'm going to say mean and median, but really the mode is not so bad either. But it's not as close to the other 2, so I'm just going to say that it's slightly low. Okay? So there you go. I think this will do it for our measures of central tendency lists, or lesson.